Joining us now from Milan with more on Ilia Malinin is USA Today sports columnist Christine Brennan. Christine, thank you so much for joining us this morning. And I want to hear, what is your reaction to Ilia's social media post mentioning fighting invisible battles?
You know, Michael, I've covered Ilia for the length of his career at the top of the sport, 4 years. I actually covered his mom at the 1998 Olympics, where she finished 8th, actually, behind Tara Lipinski and Michelle Kwan in those Olympics. And he is an introspective young man. He is polite and kind. He thinks about answers. We saw it afterwards where he went running the gauntlet of what we call the mix zone, doing interview after interview. When have we seen athletes throw their helmets and get angry? And he was so calm and so thoughtful and respectful and just a class act every way. But he thinks about a lot of things. His programs, he includes his voice in his programs. And so it didn't surprise me at all, Michael, that he did this. And I think it was helpful for him to show everyone, if people are worried around the country and the world, is he okay? He is okay. His agent tells me that. His team around him says he is doing well. And that is clearly an Ilia Malinin thing to do, to tell the world how he's doing.
Yeah, and maybe his message is going to help other athletes out there. These athletes, they're competing on the world's biggest stage. Can you give us a sense of the type of pressure that they're facing?
Well, absolutely, Michael. You know, they get a very small window to get attention. It's not like, you of course played for many years. You've got a whole NFL season. Most athletes have plenty of games and plenty of opportunities to reach people. But to make money for sponsors, everything is compressed into a couple of weeks. Well, that adds pressure. We saw it with Simone Biles back at the Tokyo Olympics in 2021. Michael Phelps has talked about it. Naomi Osaka has talked about it in tennis. Just you're out there. You're on social media. You need to be on social media for your sponsors. You want to be there, take people along for the ride. But because of that, all of a sudden the attention is on you in a way that it was never on, say, someone like Peggy Fleming or Dorothy Hamill or Eric Heiden or Brian Boitano, because of course there was no social media back then. And that's what they're dealing with, and I think that's why we need to be especially careful and watchful, and as a journalist, I'm covering these issues for that very reason.
Yeah, you have to be online, but then as Malinin also mentioned, quote, vile online hatred is definitely the different dynamic than athletes had to face decades ago. But how are these young athletes? How are their parents? How are their coaches? How are they addressing this?
This is a reality, Michael. We see that. For example, Taylor Swift has a great post out with the 3 U.S. women who are competing in a few hours here. They want that. Taylor Swift wants that. It's really cool. That's fun for them. But now again, the spotlight is on them. You can't avoid that. So they know that. They're dealing with it. There are sports psychologists here. The U.S. figure skating team has a sports psychologist just for them. And then the U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Committee also provides them. So there's plenty of help for these athletes. And I think that's a key component here, addressing the issue, knowing it exists. And again, Ilia Malinin saying what he said, Michael. Think of the young people he may have helped around the world who heard his words and said, hey, that also relates to me. And if he can talk about this, I can too. Yeah, very important message that he put out there to the world, as you said, Christine. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We really appreciate it. Yeah. These athletes, they represent, we should be proud to just represent the country. So we're proud of them regardless if they medal or not, but you can understand the pressure they feel.
Yeah, so much. All right, Michael. All right.